Good afternoon, Christian woman, Christian woman. I hope this video finds you well today. Okay, I'm in between meetings, so I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. Beware of confused Christians. Beware of confused Christians. Now, in doing so, do this without judgment because, as I've said before, there are many Christian people at different stages of their walk. They are newly Christian, they are exploring their Christianity as well as other beliefs that they're mixing in with Christianity. Okay, so do this without judgment because they're still learning, and no one knows the journey someone's heart has to take or what God is allowing them to do so that He can consecrate them in the way that He chooses to. Okay, so you want to do this without judgment because you do not know the journey their heart has to take. However, if you are someone who's growing in your relationship with God, if you're growing in your confidence in Christ and you're dating someone, or even if you're not dating someone, this could be your circle, these could be your friends. You want to make sure that you are truly, firmly grounded in the Word. Find resources that you can sit down and read a few minutes a day. You can increase on that and do your research. As I said before, if you don't understand what you're reading, some passages may be difficult to understand. Take the time to say, what does this line mean? Do your research across multiple sources. If you have a really great Bible-based church, connect with a Bible-based group. You can connect with your pastor, but you still want to make sure that you know the Word for yourself. And the reason why I'm sending this message is because you can start dating someone who is confused on their path. And if you're not fully grounded, you can start to be led in a direction that you did not intend for yourself. And well-meaning Christians can do this if they're on a path and they're confused about which direction they're going. And so it doesn't mean that you have to abandon that person. If you have a connection with that person, you can grow together. And if you are in your Word and they say something confidently that is off, way off from what you've read and what you've studied and what you've learned from your church, or whoever your wise counsel is, gently correct them so that they can learn and so they can grow. Gently, do that gently, okay, so that they can be encouraged and supported to learn. Okay, I remember actually when I was in France and I was going to different towns. I was in Paris at some point, and then I ended up in the French Riviera. And I didn't realize this as I was learning French, that two areas can have two different dialects. This is way earlier in my 20s, and I was still getting rooted in French. And I remember with confidence, because my French was increasing and getting better exponentially, and I was confident. What I remember is that the French people I interacted with were very kind and very gracious. And when I said a word incorrectly, they would repeat the word. They didn't say, no, that's not how you say it. No, you don't know that? They were not rude. They would repeat it gently. Rouge? Comment ça va? If I said it wrong, they'd repeat it with a question, and then I'd get it. Oh, thank you. I'm saying it wrong. However, I was so confident, I got a little arrogant. And when I ended up in this shopkeeper's area to get a straw for a beverage I was purchasing, I had a conversation with the shopkeeper, and I ordered my beverage, and I asked for a straw. I think it was paille. I'm probably still saying it wrong. Paille. I digress. I asked for this straw, and this man proceeded to repeat what I was saying in a different dialect. I was so arrogant that I could not understand. He was doing what they were doing in Paris. He was gently correcting me. And internally, I said, this guy's trying to make fun of my French. I know how to say straw in French. And so I was going back and forth with him, repeating the word incorrectly because I was in a different part of the country where they had a different dialect. And because I was not open and gracious and humble, I wasn't getting it. I think I went back and forth with him about 5 or 6 times, and he repeated it correctly. He didn't get an attitude with me. He just repeated it. And I said, oh, ici, here, you say it this way. À Paris, you say it that way. He said, oui, très bien. And I walked away. That was a lesson for me that I am offering you today. You may talk to Christians, okay, with love, who are going to tell you, this is what this scripture says, this is what this verse says. And if you didn't read that verse for yourself and they're confused because they're mixing it in with every other thing they're exploring, every other belief, you might say, oh, really? That's what that means? Oh, I didn't know that. And they could be way off. Not malintended, not because they're seeking to confuse you, because they're confident. And some of them may be arrogant, just like I was in that shopkeeper's store in the French Riviera. He gently corrected me. They all gently corrected me until I got it. So if you meet with someone, if you're dating someone, if you have a friend, make sure you are grounded in your word and whoever your wise counsel is, whether that's church or a family member, your parents, make sure you know that word for yourself, because their confusion can keep you from your growth. Now, at the end of the day, God is on his throne, so he's going to make sure you get that word. So don't you worry about that, okay? But gently correct them. Don't be one of those folks that cause someone to walk away in shame and shut down and feel less than because they didn't understand it, okay? That's not a time to be arrogant. Okay, so that's my little lesson today. Be gentle, but beware of confused Christians. With love and without judgment. We're all in this together. Grow together. Ciao. Gotta go.